I'm Joe Duffy for Picks and Parlays. We are going to take a look at your Thursday night football game, the Minnesota Vikings, against the LA Chargers. Please make sure you visit me, Joe Duffy at Picks and Parlays. Lock into one of my long-term packages. The NBA is here. College basketball starts November the 3rd. And we are just going to keep winning and winning and winning for you. And make sure you like and comment on this video. And again, like I said, I will answer any question that you ask. I've got the best database on earth. Do you want me to answer a question about how teams do under certain situations? I'll give you some examples on this. Maybe that's the first time you've ever seen one of my videos. But especially with NBA here, we've got so many different systems that win. College basketball, like I said. Maybe you want to know how a team in the NBA does off of 7 straight wins when they're playing another team off of 3 straight losses. Something like that. Test a theory. I'll do it for you. Put it right there in the comments section. And let me know what you think about this game and what are your picks for the weekend. All right, the opening line was the Chargers -3, -118, 42.5. The look-ahead line saw the Chargers at -3, 44.5. And I told you, I got neuropathic itching, so you should play the Picks and Parlays version of Hi Bob. Every time I scratch myself, and I'll usually in my face, don't even go there. You should take a drink. All right, the best lines available. The LA Chargers, -3, -102. The Vikings, you can get at +3, +110. And again, where's the best place to shop for lines? You better believe it. Odds, Logic. I use that for my contrarian information. Want to see where the public's betting. Again, I like to have it heavily corroborated, but no better site than Odds Logic. And certainly when it comes to shopping around for lines, of all those odds comparison sites, I don't think there is anybody that even comes close to having as many sports books as Odds Logic. Best totals available? Over 44.5, -108. Under 44.5 and -105. The splits on the side, 57% of the bets and 53% of the money is on the Chargers in this game. The splits on the total, 60% of the wagers, 78% of the cash is on the over. And especially in the NFL, of course, the percentages are going to change a little bit, but usually by early in the week, the public's really made their statement which sides and totals they're going on. Of course, that could change with injury information, and that is the case with the Vikings here. Right now, it looks like, I guess, Adam Schefter had said that he expects Carson Wentz to start on a short week. The truth is, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference on the line. Look, J.J. McCarthy obviously has the higher upside. Carson Wentz, we know he's been consistently inconsistent, but I don't expect it to have a massive movement on either the side or the total, even though the quarterback is the single most important position. It's kind of debatable on who is the better quarterback right now. The Vikings are 3-3 this year against the spread. They're covering by an average of 1.8 points per game. Chargers are 2-4-1, and they are failing to cover by an average of -4.4 points per game. That's 7th worst in the league in that margin of cover. Some people like to call it the sweat barometer. People like to use that. It's more important than the spread record because it tells you, if a team is covering a lot of close games and then they're getting blown out against the spread, those records can be deceiving. But a lot of people like to use the sweat barometer or the margin of cover. Now, that being said, in the NFL, quite frankly, it's more about regression to the mean. So bad spread teams are usually undervalued and good spread teams are usually overvalued. Minnesota's going over 5-1 by an average of 3.1 points per game. They're tied for second with Baltimore as far as the highest percentage of overs. But again, when it comes to the margin they're going over, they're actually not among the leaders. So that's a good example of what we're talking about. Road underdogs that have not overachieved, and that's based on wins relative to the number of games that they were as a favorite. So if they don't have more wins than they do have games they were as a favorite this year, they have not overachieved. And such teams, road underdogs that have not overachieved, are 8, 86, 750, and 39. Of course, that would favor the Vikings. Now, when their opponent is in exactly a one-game losing streak, it's 241, 55, and 12 for 60.8%, and still not quite as high of a winning percentage, but in total net units won, 387, 273, and 16 if their foe is off of a loss, regardless of how much of a spread losing streak that is. Now, Thursday nights usually do have a couple good angles. Thursday night favorites in Week 5 or later, if not off of an overtime game, is 145, 94, and 3. And I'm kind of giving you a little bit of a hint there. If we have a Thursday night game and one of the teams is off an overtime game, you definitely want to check my videos if I'm previewing the Thursday night game. So it does make a big difference. Not surprisingly, in short weeks, I'm giving you a little bit of a hint there. But when a team is off an overtime game, it makes a big difference on Thursday night. So again, favorites in Week 5 or later, if they're not off of an overtime game on the short week, 145, 94, and 3. Now, the Vikings are 2-1 straight up on the road, and the Chargers are 2-2 straight up at home. This is a little bit more of a non-traditional anti-splits angle. So when a team is better on the road than the home team is at home, no, you don't go with the road team. You're actually going to go with the home team. We have Game 4 later, fading road teams with a better road record, road winning percentage than the home team has a home winning percentage. It's 198, 154, and 13. Now that we have various sub-angles that take this to 62.4%, and again, that would favor the Chargers. But again, it's amazing how one of the most overused and misunderstood and abused thing is splits. NBA, hint, 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 sign up for a long-term package for Joe Duffy's Picks. NBA anti-splits angles is going to make you a fortune. NFL, really percentage-wise, they're probably a little bit better in the NFL, but it's a lot more frequent in the NBA. But you know, when I first got started on this internet, I used to love to read a lot of articles out there, and there were so many handicappers who would outsmart the room and would love to bet splits for splits to hold up. And then, okay, maybe I was sort of guilty of that, but there's still some people who believe that, but now we have the software to check it, to fact check it, and we find out it's hashtag fake news. And again, sign up for Joe Duffy's Picks, NBA, because we're going to make you a bunch of money in the NBA based on that. All right, home favorites in a short week off of a loss as a favorite are 28-12. So that would certainly qualify as a big bounce back angle. And that would favor the Chargers. Sportsline does have the Chargers winning 24-21. You know, I use a lot of the public databases. As I file this, a few of the public databases are not quite up as of yet. But your free winner from Joe Duffy's Picks for the Thursday night football is to go with the LA Chargers. Once again, the LA Chargers. We got more videos coming up for winning handicappers at Picks and Parlays, so don't you dare touch that dial, so to speak. And have you subscribed yet? Hit that subscribe button below. Hit that subscribe button. You definitely want winning information from not only me, but other great handicappers out there. Picks and Parlays is the place to go for some of the best handicappers on earth.